Space Twister is brought to us by our good fiends at Cinetel. If you watch a lot of my videos, you know my feelings about Cinetel. On one hand, I applaud their ability to produce so much non-offensive sci-fi flavoured television filler. On the other hand, I just wish they would make entertaining movies. Also, it seems to me that the far majority of their sci-fi originals are shot in a small Canadian mountainside town. While I'm not 100% sure, I'm pretty sure it's the same town in each film. When I watch their films, I play this game where I try to work out as much about the town as possible by only using on-screen information. I'm sure a simple Google search can tell me everything I want to know, but what's the fun in that? As you probably don't give two shits about the town, I'll start talking about the plot. Space Twister starts off with the eco-disaster killing off random characters that won't have anything to do with the plot. From there we meet the main character of the film, who is Teen Genius. She's made a science project so scientific that it's gained the interest of two real scientists. She's found a clearly made-up science thing called exposons. It might as well be called explodium, as it's just as deadly.
It causes nucleogenesis. Okay. It changes solid particles into gases. Look, if I'm right, Megan McGregor's device is the single most important scientific instrument on the planet right now.
The scientist needs her science project, so they go to her small town via a plane. Teen Genius ain't so smart as she has to do a weekend detention. Unlike the Breakfast Club, this isn't going to be a day of self-discovery, but rather terror, as the Space Twister turns up and turns everything to hell. From there we enter into the second act and the film dies a slow and painful death. After a bunch of faffing, we learned that the Twisters have taken out most of the United States. Teen Genius and Teen Sidekick decide to go to Teen Genius's dad's house. Meanwhile, the scientist's plane crashes. Female scientist survives, and without even mourning the loss of a friend, she hitches a ride with Teen Sidekick's dad, who's on his way to the school. They get to the school, but the kids aren't there. The science project has been destroyed. She takes what remains, and they go off to find them. Meanwhile, the teens have found themselves in a spot of bother. Teen Sidekick's dad drives his car into the flames and saves them. The science project falls out, and female scientist gives up her life to save it. I guess she had to do this to justify her place within the plot, because goodness knows these characters won't need any actual science to save the day. We learn that Teen Genius, or former Teen Genius as I'm going to call her now, didn't build the science project, but Teen Sidekick did, or New Teen Genius as I'm calling him. Anyway, all of these characters get to former Teen Genius's dad's house, and he has a massive laser thingy. Anyway, they're going to use the science project and the laser thingy to save the day. Or as New Teen Genius puts it...
Neutrons.
Bosons.
Right. These storms, they're packed with exposons. That's the key. If these bosons create more of themselves as they supplement matter, that explains why the storm is growing so fast. It'll pull the bosons right to it, creating a single event where for just a brief amount of time there will be more bosons than matter, creating a chain reaction of bosons feeding on bosons. It'll eat itself.
Yes, that makes perfect sense. And no one is shocked when they use a science project and the massive laser thingy to save the day. This film feels like it never gets past its basic premise. All the characters are doing stuff, but none of it actually feels like it has any real impact on the plot. The little plot the film does have feels forced and unnecessary. Watching it, you get the feeling that if the entire second act didn't happen, the film would play out exactly the same. The film doesn't even give female scientists the decency of being killed by the Space Twister. She gets killed by a random fire, for goodness sakes. In fact, it feels like the Space Twister is barely in this film. The Twister itself isn't cool, nor does it feel like an actual threat. It also suffers from the same problem that Alien Tornado had, as you can't actually suspend your disbelief, as the Twister isn't actually interacting with its immediate environment. As you can see in this scene, it's going past trees, and they're not even moving. Is there anything nice I can say about this film? It has a beginning, middle, and end, and it plays out in that exact order. I guess that the acting and directing is sufficient for a film of this type. Even for sci-fi original standards, this film is bad.